Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be cutting a traditional marriage blouse for you. This is a george, as in this cloth came with a george. This is the top, the up part of the george, so I'm going to be using it. But first, this is the satin that will be inside. But first I'm going to be using my lining to cut it. But before I go on, I want to say a very big thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I want to say thank you to you guys. So now, first I start by folding my fabrics into two. The bust for this measurement for this blouse is 44. So getting for you to know how you're going to be folding your fabric, you divide 44 into 4. That's, you have 11, then add 5 inches to it. That's what we have. It's now 16 inches. So I'm folding at 16 inches. You can make it 17. You can add 6 inches if you don't want to run into any problems. So the next thing I'm gonna be doing now is I'm gonna be measuring my shoulder line. I'll measure my shoulder line. This is my shoulder line. So the next thing, the length of her blouse is 27 inches. This is 27 inches. I'll add 1.5 inch as my allowance. Her breast point is 11.5, 16. So this is 11.5. I have 16 inches here. For this breast cut pattern, is this type of breast cut that, like you see, this one I'm wearing now. You can see that this middle part, the middle part took the whole of the shoulders. But for this particular breast cut I'm going to be doing, the middle part will take a part of the shoulder, while the side part will still add to give me my complete shoulder measurement. So with that, the up part, this up part, I'll measure it at 7 inches. That's 14 inches. Because her shoulder is actually 16 inches. So I'll measure it at 7 inches. Then when I get to her breast points, as in that's here, I'll make it 4.5 inches. That's from the nipple to the under bust. Then I'll take it all the way down, 4.5 down. So the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'll connect my lines. I don't want to use ruler, so let me just use my hand. I can actually draw it straight. So if your hand is not very straight, that's when you should be making use of ruler. Because it's not. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, what I'm going to be doing now is the dart. You know, in dart, even if it's normal clothes that you are sewing, when you are sewing your dart, you normally fold. So now for breast cut, that fold is what I'm going to be doing from the up part. You know, if you are running a straight dart, you fold from the top down, you hold it and fold. So for breast cut pattern, we normally cut out the dart part. So for the up part, I'll use 2 inches. That's from the 7 line. Initially this was 7. From up here was 7 inches. So I'll measure another 2 inches from here. I'll mark it like this. Then I'll come down to the under bust. The under bust, this is the under bust. Under bust is usually here. Why this place is the nipple? This is the nipple. So here is the under bust. That's here. I'll measure another 2 inches. So now what I'm gonna be doing now, I'm gonna be bringing my cut, I'm gonna be bringing my this line. I'm going to be joining it. As I'm bringing it down, I'll make my curve it down and bring it like this. Notice I'm not drawing it straight. I'm curving my hand. You can see my hand is twisted like this, as in I'm bending it like this. I'm not doing it like this. I'm doing it backward, like I'm drawing a C backward. As you're getting here, you make your curve. You see, this is the 2 inches. When you get to the 2 inches, notice that it's not like the curve, it's not like this curve is really deep inside. You just take it here slightly, you slant it down. You can see it's not like the cup is big, like a big round ball, because if you make it to be a big round ball, you're going to run into problems. You're going to run into problems. So, and you notice this side is not like a straight line. I'm slanting it as I'm coming down. I'm slanting it down to my line, as you can see. So now I'm going to be cutting it out. So the next thing, I'll place this middle piece here. Make sure my lines are accurate. And then measure out my shoulder. The shoulder is 16. That is 8 inches. I'll add 1 inch as my allowance, which I'll trim out by the time I'm trimming the armhole. Then I'll measure 8 inches for my armhole. I'll make a curve like this. Then the box, like I told you initially, I said her box is 44, so that's 11 inches. I'll place it here, just almost under the armhole, 11 inches. I'll add 3 inches as my allowance. You can use 4 inches, but I don't always advise 2 inches. It always gives problem, in case you run into any problems. So for her under bust is 38. So 38 divided by 4 is 19. That's 9.5. So I'll put it here, 9.5. And still use my 3 inches allowance. I'll join my slant. When I get here, since it's a straight gown, the next thing I'm gonna be bringing it like down this way. So for the down part of my blouse, I actually measured her. What I measured her was 43. That's this down part. Since it is a traditional marriage blouse, so 43 divided by 4. So I'll just make it 11 inches. Add 2 inches as my allowance. So here, when we get here, so the next thing, this is the front. I'm going to be using this to cut the back. For this back part, you can choose to do your regular dart pattern. That is, that you will just hold like this and sew. But me, I choose to do this one. From here, this is the under bust line. I'll measure 1/2 inch. I'll measure half an inch and slant it down like this. So when I'm cutting now, I'm going to be cutting like this. Then for this other part, I'll do the same to this side. From the underbust of the front, I'll take half an inch and slant it down here, all this way down, up. Like I told you, most of my videos, you notice I'll just come with a straight line like this. This is actually my dart line. You can choose to do your regular dart line. It totally depends on what you want. So I chose to do this one. So this is the front, and then this is the back. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now, I'll use I'll cut out the raw silk with it, then trim this one out. But before then, I'll take it to my pressing iron. I'll iron my gum stay and my hair stay, iron out everything, then I'll bring it to my machine to couple it. Actually, on this video, I'm going to be showing you how to couple a dress. So see you when I get to my machine. Okay, welcome back, guys. So now I've finished trimming everything. So now I'm gonna be showing you how to actually couple it. I trimmed out everything. So this is the middle part. This is the back piece. So this is one piece of the back. So I'll put it together like this. This is the net on it, and the taffeta, I put it carefully like this, turn. A place like this. Put it on my machine. And then make sure you straighten everything out before you start sewing. Straighten everything out, as you can see. Straighten everything out, or else you're going to run into problems. As you sew, you stretch out. You stretch out your net. Make sure everything is straight. So this is the back piece. I'll do the same thing to the other side. But first, let me do the front, the middle part. This is the middle. This is the right side. Make sure everything is accurate. Take it to the top. You turn like this. You place. Make sure everything is stretched out to avoid problems. Getting to the cup part. Okay, you have to do some little manipulations. So I'll do the same to this other side. So I'm doing the same thing to the other side, but this time you have to be really careful. Make sure everything is stretched out. There's actually another way. You can decide to stop stitch them before you start sewing, but me, I chose not to do that because I know I can sew it perfectly well. As you sew, you turn. You negotiate the bend, that's the cup. So the next thing, I'll take it to my table and press iron it out. Then I'll come back and show you. So now I'll trim it out. Now trim out the neck. And for this dress, I'm gonna be doing a canoe neck, like an off shoulder, but it's gonna be a canoe neck. So I'll fold it like this. I'll pin it, because if you notice, this cloth is really kind of stretchy. So I'll pin so it doesn't shake, so it doesn't shift out from the original position. So like I said initially, her shoulder is 16, which is 8. So I'm not trimming out anything from there. So now for the neck, since I told you, I said it's kind of like a canoe neck, so I'm gonna be using 6 inches for the neck. 6 inches. Why I'm using 6 inches is because it's not gonna be deep, or else you run into problem. So like I told you, I said you can always measure your neck, the measurement of your neck, by putting your tape here, and you know where you want it to be. So like this, I'm going to be making use of 5.5. So for the back, the back part, I want it a little bit deeper. So I'll work with 7.5 inches. So I'll come like this from this point to this point. So I'll cut out the back part. Okay. Then if you notice the shoulder, I'm gonna be slanting it down by 1/2 inch. I'll slant it down 1/2 inch. So now the length of my dress, I'll measure the length of my dress, which is 25. But before then, I'll measure out the bust, which is 44. That is 11. I'll add 1.5 inch as my allowance. Then the under bust is 38. Divide by 4, which is 9. I'll add my 1.5 inch allowance. Then the down part, so it's shifting already. I'll still go with my 11 and then add 1.5 inch as my allowance. So I'll trim out this part now. This is actually how to shape your dress. That's after coupling the front. Then for the length of the dress, so the length of the blouse is 27, like I've measured it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is just trim it out. What I already have here is 27. So that is that. So I'll use this one piece of the back to trim out the other part. But before then, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is, this is my lining. So how do you shape with your lining? You take your lining, you put it down, and then you take your original fabric, that's the dress, you fold it the way the lining is folded, you put it on top of it, Make sure it is accurate. I don't usually trim out the neck when I'm trimming, so I'll use the machine to do that. It makes it easier. So this is how you trim out. This is how you measure out you trim out your excess from your clothes. So the next thing, I'll take it to my machine and sew, and at the end I'll come back to show you the finished dress.